So, what is my undiscovered country? Well, I live in this world of discovery, of unlimited ideas and possibilities. And I want it to go on forever. You know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling where you can dream big and you can make anything happen. But I heard as you grow older, you grow out of it. You forget that feeling. Suddenly, your world of yes becomes this world of maybes and then this world of no's. Well, who better than a 12-year-old to help you rediscover that feeling? So sit down like good little adults and let me tell you a story. This is the big red dot written by my dad and illustrated by me. Oh yeah, he really dresses like that at home. Once, there was a little red dot. So our hero is a she, and we made it a she because more than ever, we must empower and be fairer to our fairer sex. Wow. She hung around with two bigger friends, Easter and Wester. Everyone got along and respected each other's space, mostly. So we all have friends like these, friends who seem to be bigger and wiser than you. But every now and then, she felt a little restless. She couldn't put a finger on what was missing, mainly because she had no fingers. And she asked, is there more to life than this? So it's normal to ask this question, and you have to constantly ask it, because it's what pushes us forward. Don't forget that life is what you make of it. She told Easter and Wester what was troubling her, and they say, why do you want to change things? Change is bad. You're too small. The world will just eat you up. So how many times have you heard this in your life? Trust me, that's all I hear. I don't think that it's true you take less risk when you get old. I think you get old by not taking any risk. The little red dot thought long and hard, and her friends weren't wrong, but she asked herself, do I want to live their lives or mine? Whose voice do I listen to? Theirs or mine? So, how many of you have asked these questions before? Thank God I'm not the only one. At some point in your life, we all have to answer them. In our lives, sorry. The answer was obvious, so the little red dot bade farewell to her friends and went on her big adventure. Easter says, silly girl, I bet she won't make it past lunch. But the other option is to live someone else's life. This is your choice, it's no one else's. At the beginning, things were tough and uncertain. But whenever she felt like giving up, she sang the song of try. And it goes like this. If I don't try, I won't know. If I don't know, the fear will grow. So I must try, and then I'll know. And when I know, the fear will go. To me, fear can stop you or keep you going. Would you rather live a life of knowing or not knowing? I'd rather know. Along her journey, big rocks got in her way. What she lacked in size, she made up for in outsmarts. So I outsmart my dad every day. The trick is to make him think he's winning, but actually you are. So at other times, there were raging rivers to cross. She was always charming and made new friends who could help her. She says, there's my special chicken rice waiting for you on the other side. So in life, there are people that you don't get along with. But sometimes you have no choice. You have to work with them. You have to come up with new ideas to get them on your side, whether it's chicken rice or laksa. There were tall mountains that no one had conquered before. The little red dot says, they said no one could climb this, and that's the best reason to. So in school, I'm always taught to follow the model answers. But just because something has never been done before, it doesn't mean you can't be the first to do it. Like, everyone thought climbing Mount Everest was impossible until someone actually did. Don't just follow the guidebook, write the guidebook. Some rained on her parade, but the little red dot remained a bright spot and kept her wits about her. She says, you should really see a doctor. I worry for you. So for me, there are bullies in school and in life. The trick is to react with a sense of humor and don't sink down to their level, because people who shit on you are usually full of it and aren't worth your time. So, on a few occasions, she encountered some knots, which are new opportunities to succeed. It's what other people call failure. She says, Plan J didn't work, so let's try Plan K. There's always a solution to a problem, but you're never going to find it by giving up. Soon, the little red dot realized that the more problems she overcame, the less daunting they became. She says, well, that was a piece of cake. Actually, I could really do with a piece of cake too. It's like riding a bike. You fall down, you get up, and after a while, you stop falling, and you never forget how to ride one again. It's the same with life challenges. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable. News of the little red dot traveled far and wide. Other dots from faraway lands came to see her. When you believe in yourself, other people do too. And they will gravitate towards you because you have this aura of self-confidence. You know, you'll understand this when you start dating. And they all wanted to know the secret of her success. And she says, simple. The more you try, the more you learn, the more you achieve. And the more you achieve, the more you will start to believe. So the first step is always to try. So it's human nature to want to know the secret to success. Oh, here it is in one word. Try. And they all ask in unison, but weren't you afraid to try? When people ask you if you're afraid of something, it's usually because they themselves are. They wish they were as brave as you. And she answered them in the only way she knew how, and she sang the song of Try. Soon everybody was singing the song of Try. A funny thing happens when you tell people that you are just like them, that you're afraid too. I think they become braver because they don't feel so alone anymore. Then came a question that really made her think. Little red dot, why do you call yourself the little red dot? Yeah, you don't seem so little to me. This is so true, isn't it? We don't see ourselves as others do. We need to look up to ourselves more. And that's when it dawned on her that she was only little in her mind. And she asked, am I the only one who thinks I'm small? So when you realize this, you see yourself in a different light. Sure, puff out your chest, but don't get too cocky. Swagger with humility, or as I call it, humble swag. She thought back on her journey and realized it's how big your spirit is that counts. And she says, you're right, I'm small outside but big inside. If you think about it, those are the values that we need in the 21st century. creativity, resilience, self-confidence, adaptability, and the courage to go why and why not. And that's when the little red dot found herself and her place in the world. So remember this, no matter how small you are, there lives a big red dot in you. So the good news is that we've had these values all along. It's in our DNA. I mean, we dreamt big and made it happen, didn't we? And we should never forget that. So what's the moral of the story? I think it says we must all continue to dream big and believe we can make it happen. So, for example, my big dream is of a world better than it is now. Let's face it, the world's not in good shape. You adults made it this way, and now my generation is going to be stuck with it. But together, we can do something about it. All we need are more thinkers, more creators, more believers, more makers, more do-gooders, and more people who believe in leaving the world in a better shape than when they found it. We need more big red dots. But I know, some of you will be thinking, but what does this 12-year-old know about making the world better or changing the world? Well, let me answer you in the only way I know how. Okay. If I don't try, I won't know. If I don't know, the fear will grow. So I must try, and then I'll know. And when I know, the fear will go. So I must try, and then I'll know. And when I know, the fear will go. So the truth is, we actually have no choice. This is the only world we have. And Mars is still very, very far away. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's never forget to dream big and believe we can make it happen. And we must keep singing the song of try. Because the more we do, the bigger our red dot gets. Thank you very much.